because you watched my last video where I unboxed, tested, and reviewed the Beautiful by Drew Barrymore Cookware Set. Since publishing that video, I received a ton of comments. Okay, only like 4 or 5. I received a lot of comments asking the question that you guys all want to know. Was the set worth it, and did it last? It's important to note that I bought this set for 3 reasons. First reason was the aesthetic. I'm kind of vain. Sue me. I wanted a pot set that looked sleek, that looked modern, that looked cool. I wanted something that was going to look good in my kitchen and go with the general aesthetic of my house. So that was the main reason that I bought this pot set. Second reason, and perhaps the most important reason, was I was looking for a non-stick cookware set. I cook a lot. I'm a Southern girl. We cook. I cook breakfast, I cook dinner at least 3 times a week. So I needed a set that would be able to handle that. I was tired of making my stews and my braises and all these sort of kind of, slow cooking dishes and my food getting stuck to the bottom of it. So I was like, I need a set that's going to be a non-stick that I could use over and over again and not have to worry about doing so much work on the back end when it came to cleaning and putting it in the dishwasher. Last but not least, price. I'm not really trying to spend $400-500 on a pot set, especially when I live in an apartment. I feel like that's house activities. So I was really looking for something that had the ability to be able to be easy on the wallet, but also the ability to be able to last at least 1 to 3 years. And so when I found this pot set that was a great kind of option for the caraway pot set, I wanted to go for it. Let's get into the nitty gritty and talk about the pros and the cons of this pot set, starting with the aesthetic. Pro. Spoiler alert, is only one pro here. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The color was gorgeous. I mean, it's this pearl white kind of color. It's one of those colors that could work in any kitchen. I really liked how sleek it looked in the white. I really liked how modern it looked. Now, I know I was taking a risk, because the thing about white is it easily stains. So I knew I was taking a risk getting the white color, but it was absolutely beautiful on my stove and I loved it. Problem is, we're gonna start with the cons. Let's get into the cons. Just like I knew it, it stained. I mean, you make a pot of spaghetti and these things, and unless you're really careful, which if you have a toddler and a family, you don't have time to be worried about spaghetti juice not getting on the freaking pot. You don't have time for that. This thing stained probably within a month. And this is especially true, like I said, if you're making red sauces or braises or, pot roast, anything that has any color to it. Unless you're making eggs, there's no way this pot set isn't going to stain. Now, obviously, that's because it's white or that pearl color. But the problem is, even if it was the green color or even the peach color, any color besides black, basically, it still would have probably stained because that enamel just isn't thick enough to where you can wipe any sort of liquid off. Unless you're buying the black pot, expect for this thing to stain and it's going to stick around. It's going to stick around. Another con that I had in regards to the aesthetic were the actual pot holders. I love the gold. I don't know if it's a gold thing. Maybe it's just the gold. I'm pretty sure it's not real gold. But those pot holders did not, they held heat. They were really hot. And unless you had a pot holder mid-end, you were going to burn yourself. And even without the oven, when I would sit the pot on the stove to stew or braise or even just boil water, the pot holders handles, they would be so hot and I couldn't use it or pick it up. And so I just felt like the pot itself wasn't able to retain heat well, especially when it came to the holders, and that was not fun. My last con with the aesthetic were the dividers. Honestly, guys, I didn't even use them. I just felt like they were so useless. And maybe for some people, it makes a difference, but for me, I didn't use the dividers. I would have very much rather pot handles. I think our place, they give you pot handles, go with your cookware set. I would have very much rather that. I didn't need dividers. It was just a waste of my time. So let's dive into the actual functionality of the pot set. The bread and butter. Did it work? Pros. My pros here. Let's start with the good. No bruising. No denting, no scratching. I feel like the hardware itself actually has sound structure, which is really important. I have a toddler. She's gonna bang on pots. You know, she's gonna bang on them. She's gonna find them under the sink. She's gonna play with them. You know, and me myself, like, I move my pots around a lot. I'll move from this urn to the next urn. I move from the back to the front, in the oven, out. I never once got any sort of like dent, any sort of cut, any sort of scrape on this pot set, which is good, because you do worry sometimes with the non-cast iron sets or the non-like hardy sets, or even just the cheap sets. You do worry whether or not they're actually going to like crack. I've seen like people, like their stuff like crack or dent, or even like just have a chip in it. No chips, no dents, no cracks. Structurally sound. I'm happy about that, because these pots went through hell and back. So in addition, the pot set did held true to being dishwasher safe. I put these things in and out of the dishwasher and in and out of the oven, no problem. Which is a good thing, because I'm a dishwasher girl. I do not hand wash dishes. It is not my ministry. It's not how I choose to live my life. And so I wanted to make sure that the pot set was able to be dishwasher safe, and the pot set proved to be dishwasher safe. It also proved to be oven friendly. I cranked this thing up to about 500 sometimes. No issues, no melting, no structural integrity. It was very sound as a hardware and as cookware, and I do appreciate that, and that is a very big positive. This pot set stopped being non-stick after about 6 months. After about 6 months, my eggs started to stick. My bacon started to stick, unless there was like a lot of oil, which oil, after a while, it just ruins a pan. Unless there's a lot of oil in there, this thing is going to start sticking after about 6 months. If you're lucky, 8 months. Like I said, one of the biggest reasons I bought this pot set was because I needed something that was non-stick. I was tired of scraping and scrubbing with these stainless steel pots. You know, everything sticks to stainless steel. So I thought that with the ceramic non-stick, PFBA free, whatever, paraben free, whatever kind of cookware set, that I was going to get that protective coating that would last, I mean, at least for the full year, you know, at least for a full year. No, after about 6 months, my eggs were, you know, scraped up. My pots had burn marks on them. This thing does not last non-stick past about 6, maybe 8 months. Obviously, the frying pans or the saucepans were the ones that had the most trouble, because you're frying things in them. You're flipping bacon, you're flipping eggs, you're making some chicken or making meatballs. Whatever you're doing, those are getting used the most. And you could tell they were used the most because everything started sticking. And for these pots to have those type of burn marks was not fun, because it just completely defeated the purpose of what I was trying to do. I get it, when you spend money on cheap stuff, you expect cheap results, but not non-stick. You're lucky if you get it past 8 months, maybe 6 months. It is what it is. I'm just letting y'all know. All in all, I'm hoping this pot set lasts me at least another year. One day I'm going to get my dream pot set. Look who's sad. Look who's sad. But today's not that day, so I'm hoping that this pot set can last me at least another 6 months. And then maybe sometime next year, probably this, what's coming up? Black Friday, if that even is still a thing anymore. I heard it's so trash. Maybe this Black Friday I'll get a new set and hopefully just splurge and spend the extra couple $100. I'm not doing ceramic anymore. I'm going to go straight back to stainless steel, or maybe even look into cast iron. Overall, if you're considering buying the Beautiful by Drew Barrymore Cookware Set, it could be a good decision. Just be aware, the set may not last longer than 2 to 3 years max. You're pushing it. And while the price is attractive, just remember, just because it's cheaper doesn't always mean it's worth it. As for me, I still plan on using my set until the handles fall off. In the meantime, if there is a pot set that you would recommend under $500, feel free to leave it in the comments below, because I need to do a little bit of shopping and move on from this if it doesn't work out to the end of the year. So that's it for me today, guys. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next video.
It's my time. Hey. You was for you, I was for us. You do the math, shit don't add up. Even on my worst day, down on my